No more porn talk.
Although, did you see Jenna Jameson? How she looks now? She went from like years ago looking smoking hot. Then she blew up like a fucking balloon, and she was like 250 or
She was
something.
fat?
Dude, she got huge.
Really?
And then she just lost like 80 pounds, and she looks good again. Not as hot as she did when she was younger, because that was before all the tattoos and, when you get beat up with dicks in your face all the time. I mean,
she went a little too far though with the plastic surgery. She didn't.
Oh, she did. They all do though, don't they?
Yeah. Well, there's somebody in the porn industry. I guess he's well known enough because the article I stumbled across.
Ron Jeremy?
No, he's like a producer, like Axel something, and he does all these parodies, but they're high production value parodies.
There was just a parody released for
Go ahead.
Shit, I saw it.
You want me to give it to you?
Yeah.
Captain Marvel.
Yes. I was thinking it was there.
But I was like, I didn't even realize that that's a lane. Like I know that there's parodies. I'm not stupid, but I didn't realize that. I didn't know that they could be so blatant with the license.
Oh, dude. I think...
can Disney come after them?
They could, but why would you want that bad publicity?
Yeah, it would just drive more business to the porn.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose out in the end.
Yeah.
I mean, you might save a couple millions of dollars, but fucking who cares? And anyway, you're just helping the brand that you have, right? If somebody goes and sees a hot chick dressed up as Princess Leia, they might not have been a Star Wars fan before, but they see this Princess Leia getting fucked by Han Solo, Don Solo, however they want to do it. They might be like, on the off chance, you never know, I might check out that fucking Star Wars, or they did the Star Trek one. They did all kinds of different parodies. Yes, I've watched a lot of porn. Just to put it out there.
But, there's got to be a billion Princess Leias.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The porn industry is huge, but I don't know how they make money anymore because...
You can get it for free.
I get that fucking shit for free, not unless you're like a weirdo that needs to actually physically buy this shit.
Yeah.
Or download it and save it.
They're probably... Yeah, that's a good question, man, because they got to mix it up.
There's so many porn sites that are free now.
You're not going to a West Coast Video and pushing back the curtain and getting that.
Remember, I did that
VHS.
I did that a couple of times. I never went to West Coast Video, but there was
Blockbuster.
I never did. Blockbuster never had it.
Oh, they didn't?
And there was this little video shop. It wasn't and that's where I went because I knew nobody I know goes into this little video shop, but they have this the little beads that coming down.
The beads. That's
and
right.
You're at the time you're 21, 22 years old.
Sure.
You feel cheesy going back there. I feel cheesy now.
You just feel exposed.
Yes.
Anybody's going to find you out any minute.
And you think about it, but everybody knows everybody jerks off.
Of course.
It's
his natural.
Or beats off.
Whatever you want to call it. Tosses off, wanks, whatever.
Feels them off, girls playing with themselves. Everybody does.
It's as natural gets. But we grew up in a very God-fearing society, man.
Creepy.
And people like to hide that shit.
Dude, I did.
Everybody did because it's you don't want to be standing on a bus at a bus stop doing it. Dude, I was in New York. This is probably 90, 91. When New York was just starting to get cleaned up and they were trying to they were cleaning up downtown New York.
Must have been really bad.
Was bad.
Because
peep shows, porn shops, all that shit. So, but it was still the city. The city's you just went to New York. It's more like an amusement park anymore.
It really is. Speaking of, we're all on porn and all that. We were in New York, and me and my wife were walking.
Oh, but real quick though,
you're cutting me off, John.
I know, but I
don't care.
No, I had to finish that thought. But the reason I even brought that up is because me and my buddy and this girl we were hanging out with, we went to we were a bunch of artsy fartsy nerds. Went to the artists, the Met, and then we took the subway. She went to walk into the subway car and came right back out and almost ran us both over. And I was like, what? And she was like, some dude had his pants down around his ankles, taking care of business. He was the only one on the car.
Oh,
no shit.
Serious?
Yeah. And then we were like, all right, we'll get the next one.
That's okay.
Yeah. I don't want anything to do that. Sorry, I had to finish that
No,
thought.
I was just saying we went to New York, and apparently in Times Square they have a naked guy and a naked woman. They do body paint or something. Or they're you know.
They're naked, but they're covered in paint.
Some kind of thing, yeah. But the dude wasn't that good looking.
Yeah.
The chick, man. Not that I'm into dudes, but you know, good looking dude's a good looking dude.
Your secret's safe with me.
Yeah,
here.
right. Stop it. The woman was fucking hot. I'm like trying not to look at her with my wife next to me. She goes, "Oh, it's no big deal." I'm like, "It's broad daylight." I'm like, "No fucking big deal, dude. This is a big deal."
Dude, the first time I went to Amsterdam.
First time, like I've never been dick.
Yeah, well, that's a job thing. First time I went to Amsterdam, we weren't looking for prostitutes or anything like that, but we were walking through, like, I'd never been there before, so I'm like,
it must have been everywhere.
I want to hear about this. It's just really just one strip, this red light district. And
yeah, I heard of it. I thought it was like a lot of streets.
it's not it's not like a town, not like the town of Westchester, right? Where every other corner
This is a long strip of strip clubs.
Yeah,
And-
strip clubs, but where you can get laid too.
yeah. I mean, it's legal there.
Yeah, dude, girls in the window. There may be a bright neon light that's framing the window, and they're posing in there like mannequins. And I'm thinking the whole time,
That was
did you
mannequin.
hear about it? No, I'm thinking before I got there that they're a bunch of used up sex workers, man.
Yeah.
You like harsh and kind of.
So you went in there and they were actually fucking hot.
Dude, the ones in the window were, oh my God, they were beautiful.
Yeah.
They were like beautiful bodies, beautiful faces, and everything like
It's like,
that.
what are you doing this for?
I wasn't questioning them because
Because you're like, my dick it might be inside you soon.
It was work. But you're walking by and you're like, all the things I thought about it were like blown out of my head.
So like on a scale of 1 to 10 hot, like 10 being the hot and
8.
really?
Yeah.
Like you
Like
would-
10's like a Charlize Theron. Well, she's like 11 or 12.
yeah, she's off scale.
Yeah. She's probably, she's not.
I'm just talking about like, so you would like, say you were married.
Dude, if
say
you
you
were-
were married and you were in the right situation, would you pay for sex with one of these girls?
No.
Okay. Then they're not 10s. 10s are 10s you would. 10s,
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. In a lot of bars that I've been into, they would have been the hottest girl in the bar. And I'm not saying I went to trash places either.
I was going to say, John, I know you're from Camden.
Yeah, well, I was born in Camden. But, you go to a club, there's a ton of hot girls. I'm saying, and I'm not saying every girl that was in the window. I mean, we probably saw like 4 windows. But out of those 4 windows, one was hotter than probably 80% of the bars I've been in my whole life.
So it's just paying for it keeps you out. And how many
how many
other dicks have been in that spot?
And it's like I've never been the just hit it and quit it guy.
Nah, I'm not either, but I've never had to pay for it. I've paid for it in other ways, just never really paid for it in cash.
Yeah.
But
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, God, you don't understand. But I just feel weird. I would feel weird about dude. I know a couple guys that go to washies and those kind of, I do. I know people that do it, and I'm like, he's like, just do it. I'm just, first of all, I'm married, so I wouldn't.
Yeah,
never would. But I'm like, even if I wasn't, I would never fucking.
Well, that dude that just got busted was going into the strip club. It was the strip mall, Rub and Tugs.
Where's that at?
He was. I thought he was part owner of the Patriots or something like that.
Oh yeah, Kraft.
Yeah,
I don't. They haven't brought it up in a while.
Yeah, but he like in his situation, I don't get where like going into a strip mall,
dude. He could have that shit delivered.
Yeah, that part,
like a perfect 10 delivered.
That part I don't get at all.
I don't get it at all. Either.
But if he was older, his wife was the love of his life, and he just needed some contact. I'm almost like, what's the harm?
Yeah.
Don't bust the guy's balls. Who gives a shit?
Do you want to know a little old fact about older men and like older women and men in nursing homes?
I think I know where you're going. Go ahead.
STD rampant.
Yes.
Because they just don't give a fuck anymore. Who gives a fuck if I get AIDS?
Yeah.
Well, I'm dying anyway.
What,
dude.
I'm going to die in 10 years? Believe me, I'm gonna beat you to that.
Yeah.
Who cares? And I heard about that, man. Yeah. It's Viagra and friggin' STD medication.
Ever since Viagra got created, these guys it's like rampant.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, I don't think they're fucking the ones that can't do anything. I think it's like, hey, Betty, you're looking pretty good today. The ones that can communicate.
No, I get it.
That's horrible. That sounded so bad.
Bingo! B69. Bingo!
All right, let's get back on topic. I feel like we got a little far off of it.
We did. So we want to, let's just get to, you want to do box office or we can get right to the news? Because we're running.
Quick box office. I don't think there's anything major going on right now.
Well, it kind of was predictable. Box office, Chapter 2, number one at the box office.
Yeah, no doubt.
Did $91 million.
No doubt with that.
That's a crusher, man. I mean, for a horror movie, rated R horror movie.
But it is, first of all, it's probably Stephen King's ground jewel of all his books.
Yeah, it's
if you think about it, I mean, that and The Shining are the two. And the first movie that came out years ago, that was like a cult classic. Maybe when it first came out, it wasn't like as big, but it's one of those things that pick up steam over the years.
Yeah, totally.
And they redid it, and everybody told me the first one was so good that it was probably better than the original. Absolutely better than the original.
It came and brought it. I saw it. I thought it was a really well done movie. Like, they brought the creep factor. They got you a little, like, hair on the back of your neck raised up.
Yeah.
And then they had almost like a little Stranger Things type of vibe to it, too, with the kids and how they interacted with one another.
Which definitely would help.
Yeah. And then you're like, you actually gave a shit about the characters and you could relate to them. I thought that part was really cool. And it got,
You can get a little nostalgic, too, because of the time period jump.
Absolutely.
Because I'm assuming that would be 90s? The kids part, were they in the 90s or early 2000s?
Well, it would
probably
have to be
90s, right?
It all depends if it was set in
I didn't
real
see
time.
the first one. I
don't think it was set in real time. I think it might have been. You know what? You might be right. It might have been the 90s.
And that's right in our wheelhouse right there.
Yeah.
You're a little towards the beginning of it. I'm towards the end of it.
Yeah. I turned 18 in 89.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in our wheelhouse. I turned 18 in 98.
Yeah, that's right. We're about 10 years apart.
Yeah. So,
but I'm happy the movie's done well because it got Stephen King's blessing, which
we'll get into the news in a minute.
Well, which The Shining did not.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't like The Shining.
He didn't like The Shining.
They made all kinds. Kubrick did all kinds of changes, and he wasn't.
The Shining's an awesome movie.
I love it. It's one of my favorite King movies, but it's not true to the book.
Oh, you think the book was weirder?
The book was
Did you read
more
it?
graphic. Yeah, I read it.
Oh, did you?
There's a part where Jack Torrance, the Jack Nicholson character, he comes after everybody with an axe in the movie, The Shining, right? But in the book, there's this croquet field, the croquet with the little yeah, exactly.
I know what you're talking about.
Well, this was a different form of croquet where you used a roque mallet, which was like a big giant version of the regular croquet mallet.
Okay.
And that's what he started going after his wife with. And he hits her one time on the shoulder, and the way King describes it, he's like
shattered it,
bone crunching, right? And then he hits her again, and that's what King does. He makes it real visceral, and that's the part. And I suppose any books like
maybe back then they couldn't made a movie like that back then because things were rated R back then just because of little things. I mean, you know what I mean? Violence or whatever. Yeah. I mean, imagine if they did it exactly towards the book. I mean, that might have been, I don't even know what you did back then. What, NC-17?
No, back then they just
after R? What's after R?
They did PG-13 when that movie came out. I think it was
an R.
Yeah, it was definitely an R, but I'm wondering if PG-13 existed back then. I don't think they had an NC-17 when that movie was out.
Well, I'm just saying because I know Somebody's coming down.
Yeah,
I know.
I forgot my charger for my laptop.
I know. Hey, Cindy.
Hey.
Hey, baby.
You're lucky I answered my text.
I am lucky. No, I think.
No, I was saying that if he went, sounds like the book was, like you said, more gruesome.
Yeah,
not gruesome, but like
visceral.
Yes, more what you said earlier, visceral. Exactly, the perfect word for it. And I just think it might not have passed. It might not have been allowed for that time.
Yeah, probably not. And I think Kubrick had a very distinct vision in mind. Like the blood, just everything had a Kubrick touch.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Mm-hmm. Box office. Let's run through this real quick. Angel Has Fallen still is second in the box office. Good with $5 million, almost $6 million. Good Boys, a little more than $5 million. You know, we just did this Thursday, so it's not going to change much, except for it Chapter 2. Lion King at number 4 with $4 million, and Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw at $3.8 million. All right, that's it for the box office. Let's get into the news, Nicholas. You brought something up. I almost forgot about this, but Dave Chappelle had his special. Loved it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Thought it was hysterical. I think if you don't get the joke and the fact that he's a comedian,
and
then
he's just kidding. He's not getting up to the political stage, quoting what he believes.
Yeah, he's pushing the boundaries of comedy, and he's hailed for it. I mean, especially among his peers.
I think more comedians should be that way.
Of course, that's how you push the medium along.
But I think, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I think some of them are so afraid to do it.
Sure.
You know, 'cause
some of them aren't as bulletproof as Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, he's as bulletproof as you get with a comedian. I mean, because he pretty much left Comedy Central and left like $50-some million on the floor. And at the time, he wasn't as big as he is now, where he's in high demand.
That was his height.
And that was his height. I mean, I remember watching that show with the Wayne Brady episode. It was hilarious.
Oh, my God, dude.
When Wayne Brady was a pimp, and I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of there. It was badass. But
that's amazing.
He just has that pull. I mean, and ever since he did that show and then walked away from it, I think he's gained even more credibility.
Yeah.
Because people are like, dude, the dude's just not going to take this shit. He's going to say what he wants, and we're going to like it. And it's not going to be fucked up. And like, he's not going to bring a joke to the table that is like, he doesn't really mean it. He's just telling a fucking joke.
Yeah, I mean, Carlin was that way. Richard Pryor was that way. You know, Louis obviously was that way. All these comedians.
Louis was fun. He's funny as shit. His problem is he had some sick fucking perverted things going on.
Well, he got caught in a wave of stuff for, jerking off in front of somebody. And I'm not saying that's right, but I'm just saying that.
I'm doing that right now.
Yeah. All that talk about the Captain Marvel porn. Mm-hmm. We didn't even do the intro.
Oh, shit, dude. John.
All right, let's do it real quick. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the John and Jamie Show. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
And we are all discombobulated this week, but we are pushing through. So we'll leave everything from the preamble in, and that'll be the start of the show. So Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan was talking about Rotten Tomatoes. So first of all, we all agree he's comedy genius. He's going to be a comedy legend, and
he's not already.
And he's a brilliant dude, storyteller, comedian, etc.
I think that's a good way to put it. Storyteller. His jokes are more. It's not like a one puncher. He's more like setting it up.
No,
setting it up.
Yeah.
I just
his last special when he was saying, "I'm going to tell you about how I met O.J. Simpson 4 times."
And before this?
Yeah, before this. Yeah. And he'll go in, he's doing his routine, and he goes, so the first time I met O.J. Simpson. And he tells you a little bit of a story. And then he tells about 20 more, not even, probably about 10 more minutes of material, and he goes, so the second time I met O.J. Simpson. And the material had nothing to do with it, so he catches you by surprise.
Yeah.
And he does it 4 times. I think it's 4 times. And then the last one, he sends it home.
Oh, yeah.
Each time was hysterical. And then the 4th time he sent it home. It's just brilliant storytelling.
Yeah, and that's that. I think that's his comedic genius, is the way he tells a story and winds and interweaves a joke in there.
Yes, man.
And he builds you up. Where like Jerry Seinfeld is always like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah.
You know, it has that kind of like, you know, and he's just more observant.
Yeah.
Funny.
And I think it's in human nature. I know it's in human nature for people to sit around a fire and tell a story. Mm-hmm. I think it's part of our DNA as social creatures, you know, because, you know, being social was part of survival. You weren't part of the pack, man. You were fucked.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It still is to this day, man. I mean, it's always, yeah.
No, that's a great point. It is still to this day. But anyway, Joe Rogan was talking about him on his podcast, and I didn't even know this, but
didn't know what?
Rotten Tomatoes sandbagged Dave Chappelle as far as their reviews.
I know. That's a shitty thing to do.
He would get a 0% on a tomato.
Nobody would watch it. But then didn't Joe Rogan come out and said the fans were like 91%?
Yeah.
Enjoyed it?
Yeah. So we talk and we joke and refer to Rotten Tomatoes for you made a great point last week. I know we bust on these review sites all the time and these critics, even though we do criticize and we're technically critics. But we bust on them. Jamie, probably the most vocal, calls bullshit on the critic scores on Rotten Tomatoes. But this was the first time that they actually got caught
doing it,
sandbagging a comedian, like doing a hit, essentially. You know, I mean, they basically said, we're going to make sure that it gets, 3 reviews? How did it go down, Nick? You were telling me earlier.
I don't know how it went down. You told me about this.
It was they went and did, it was Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle. Basically what it was, they closed the door on only like 3 critics reviews or 4 critics reviews.
I just assumed that somebody watched it, or I can't see it just being against Chappelle because that seems a little fucked up.
Yeah,
but it seems like they just had a bad view of either him or definitely of his material, and they just wanted to get at him. That's what I'm taking at, because why else would you do that? Or people, the powers that be, whoever controls what of, you know, things that you should or should not say, really didn't think it was appropriate what he said and forced, I don't know, the political game, made him move the needle and say, we're not going to like give it good reviews. So, and that's just fucked up, because if they have that kind of power, then why are we believing anything they say about any movie? And I know we joked about the Star Wars thing, The Last Jedi, and I still now I'm more in belief than ever that that's fucked. That rating's more full of shit.
Yeah,
it was just Disney pushing its weight through and pressuring for a good review because they needed a good review.
Yeah, dude, and I think it reminds me of like the morality police. Like, someone might be offended because some people were offended. So how are we going to react to it as a company? Mm-hmm. So what we're going to do, because our views and opinions might not agree with the this outrage culture,
right,
that it might negatively affect our business. So what we're going to do is we're going to have very few critic reviews, and the critic reviews of it, we're going to make sure that those critics that review it. Now, I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but this is what I suspect. The critics that do review it are going to shit can it.
Yeah. Right?
So if you have like a Dave Chappelle that you might not agree to because he's kind of outrageous.
He's definitely outrageous.
Yeah, you might. It's a way to fix the game.
And if they're doing that, then they're not a true site that you should go look at for a movie review. Because now, is it true? Is it not true? Should I believe what the critics are saying? Mm-hmm. That's why I go. That's what we all talk about. We always do. But what do the fans say?
Yes.
If the fans like it, then it's probably a good movie. Now, I worry about, because it's still always computers, if they can fix that too.
Well, I mean, it's what the problem really is, Nick, is like if you're a company like Consumer Reports, right? Consumer Reports, and your whole credibility, the foundation of your business depends on the trust that you have with the people using your product to evaluate other products.
I get you.
Right? So the minute you screw around with that trust, it's harder to earn back, right? So the minute you go and you take a payday, or you put some type of editorial opinion on it, or whatever it is that isn't aligned with something that's more on the true side, then you're fucked. You're fucked because it's a slippery slope to where you start losing viewers, you start losing revenue, and then you start scrambling, and then you start doing some really shady shit. And you're already morally compromised. Now you start doing some really shady shit, and next thing you know, you're the least trusted site on the internet. You know, and then the competitor that's right up your ass is going to overtake you, and then you're dust.
See, yeah.
Look at MySpace.
Yeah. Tom got out in good time.
Right? Do you think that they thought Facebook was a threat? Now it's like MySpace. Who?
Yeah. I still have my MySpace.
Do you really?
I don't go on it. I mean, but one day I think I was probably drunk, and me and Shannon were just bullshitting, and I typed it in, and I put I don't know how to get into it because I know how to get into it. I just didn't feel like trying to get into it because I could recover my password. But I'm like, it's still there. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I thought the site shut down.
Yeah.
I guess these sites never shut down unless somebody buys the rights to the name.
Yeah. I mean, they're, it's just space. It's just, space on a server. And nobody's done anything to, I mean, it still exists as a
poor
company.
Yahoo. They bought it for $74 million. It turned out to be nothing.
I know. They made a lot of...
Tom's traveling the world on that dime now.
Dude, I still have a Hotmail account. Fucking it. It's got to be almost 20. It's probably older than 20, probably 20 years old.
Have you even gone on it recently?
I go and I use it for the dummy account. Like if something requires an email address.
Oh, gotcha.
Not so much anymore, but 5-10 years ago, not even 3
when
4
you were
years
going
ago.
on your porn sites.
Yeah, get in there and get that free month.
See that parody Star Trek.
That's right. Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right, parody Star Trek. Captain Spock's got to be who?
Cock.
Or I'm sorry, not Captain Spock. Captain Spock. Captain. It would be. What was
Spock was a captain too?
That's right. He was a captain, but what was his primary? He was science officer, right?
Science officer.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So yeah, it's kind of fucked up, man. I mean, we were going to do. Unfortunately, Jamie wasn't able to join us tonight, but we were going to do a game tonight. I thought it'd be better with the three of us, called Rotten Roulette. We still might do it. We just might use a different site where we basically just pit two films that we enjoy. I'd do I'd do a little bit of moderation, and then say, all right, Back to the Future 2 versus Ghostbusters 2. Who's got a better audience score on Rotten Tomatoes?
It has to be Back to the Future 2.
Well,
that's like a no-brainer.
It is. Well, we're not going to play the game, but
come on, I want to do the game.
You want to
do
the game? All right,
let's do
it,
man.
All right.
Because since I hate Rotten Tomatoes, I just want to see how much they're wrong.
All right, so Back to the Future 2 is... I got it on my phone. It's Back to the Future 2 audience score, 85%.
Damn right.
Ghostbusters 2 audience score, 61%.
See?
Yeah, it's a better one.
See, that sucks, Jamie. Sucks.
All right, let's do this. You ready? All right, Star Wars. I feel like I'm saying Star weird. Star Wars episode 4. We still have to fact check that.
New
original.
Hope.
Yeah. No, this is Empire Strikes Back.
You said episode 4.
Yeah.
That's episode 5.
It says episode 4. It's 3, 4. Oh, that is episode 5. Sorry. I got my Roman
Come on, seriously, man? Don't even mess with me about that.
Okay, Star Wars episode 4. I'm just kidding. 5. The Empire Strikes Back, 97%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
New Hope, 96%.
Point difference. That's tight. That is tight.
It's real tight. All right, we did Back to the Future. Caddyshack versus Stripes, 2 Bill Murray classics.
See, they're close too, but I'm going to go Caddyshack. I love them both, but Stripes, I think Caddyshack appeals to the masses. Stripe only appeals to, certain guys.
There's more funny in Caddyshack.
Oh, yeah. You got Chevy Chase and Bill Murray together in a scene.
Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield. He's kind of annoying.
Everybody party. All right, next. Aquaman versus Captain America.
Captain America, hands down. No, you say Captain Marvel or Captain America?
I'm saying Captain America. First Avengers.
Captain America, hands down.
Captain America, 74% of the critics. Aquaman, 75%.
Are you fucking serious?
No,
there's no way that's better than...
Story-wise, that blows, man.
It does. There's no fucking story. That's, again, where the critics are fucking wrong.
And I was going to do Captain Marvel, but I switched up on you. Captain Marvel actually got less than both of them. It's got
I know, it sucked.
54%. 78% from the critics. Yikes. Okay, next. Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Batman Begins.
This is tough.
It is, because there was a phenomenon. It was like a phenom with Wonder Woman. Like, there are a bunch of women.
And Gal Gadot is... That's a point right there.
Well, Cindy, I think she went with like 10 or 8 of her friends. And
yeah, my wife went with it.
Yeah, I know, but it was like a bunch of them. They all got socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't answer it, though.
No, you didn't.
Batman Begins. Christopher Nolan's first 2 movies are too good.
Yeah, 94% from Batman Begins and 88% on Wonder Woman. That was a tough one. All right, now we're going to go a little old school. I know we did Stripes and we did Caddyshack. We're going back to the 80s, and we'll go Weird Science.
Great movie.
Great movie. Revenge of the Nerds. Right?
Which one do you think I'm going to go with? Pick a. You know me well enough.
I think you're going to go with Nerds.
Weird Science.
Oh,
man.
Really?
I love Weird Science.
It's a great, but they're both fucking classics.
It's Nerds and Weird Science. That's who I am, dude.
That's why I picked them. 73% audience score.
For which one?
For Revenge of the Nerds.
That beat out Weird Science?
Beat out Weird Science. Weird Science was 69%.
Oh, really, man?
Close. It's so funny, man. Like, I didn't know that. Like, I was just thinking of movies that I thought would go together in my head. And it turns out they were pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, they were.
Although, tomato meter for the critics score for Revenge of the Nerds was 70% and 56% for Weird Science.
Really?
Yeah,
I can see that, though.
Critics hated Weird Science.
I can see that, though, because, dude, you're creating a woman out of a magazine.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean...
It's in the title. You know what you're getting.
What was the movie what the fuck is his name? God. I'm like...
80s?
He played Ice in Maverick. What the hell is his name?
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer did a movie where he was a nerd. And he was like a super nerd. Somebody else came along that was somewhat smarter than him.
It was Real Genius.
Real Genius is that. Yes. Where blew the house up with popcorn.
Yes. And there was Laszlo that walked underneath.
Yes, dude. It was awesome.
That was awesome.
I forgot about that very That's crazy.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, next on the list. Porky's versus Tom Hanks' Bachelor Party.
I told you upstairs. I'm still going to stick with it.
Yeah.
We'll go with Porky's. It just was so funny. Don't get me wrong. Tom Hanks, The Bachelor Party is a classic.
Yes.
Probably more people know about that movie than they do about Porky's. I'm gonna go Porky's.
Maybe. I don't know. Porky's is pretty... Like, you say
that
Porky's...
That dick scene was just... Yeah. You can't...
I can recognize it in a lineup. Yeah. So 57% Porky's,
Yep.
56%.
I got that one right.
Porky's inches it out with 1%.
Inches. I like that.
That's what was sticking through the hole in the shower. Inches. All right, we're going to a little sci-fi. We got The Fifth Element, Bruce Willis's masterpiece, and Big Trouble in Little China, my personal favorite.
I actually want to hear what you're going to say.
Well, I can look at it, but if I'm going to try and scrape my eyeball memory, and I'm going to say out of the two, Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
it's got a special place in my heart.
But I always thought you were like loved The Fifth Element.
I think it's a visually stunning movie, man.
Yeah.
It is straight up. They take pages out of, I think, Mobius and everything, this famous artist, and it is artistically way better movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, but the charm of Big Trouble in Little China is where it is for me.
They're doing not a remake. The Rock's going to be in it. It's going to be like
Kurt Russell is too.
20 years, I was like 30 years or 40 years later.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome, man.
Friggin' our generation, that Hollywood has figured out, and it's probably just because the directors that grew up and are making movies today just harken back to their own childhood, which is when we were kids. They tapped a vein of nostalgia that is just printing money.
Oh, dude.
And we're just gobbling up. It's like the best tasting stew ever.
Oh, you have.
I hate it and I love it.
Yeah, because the only reason why I hate it is because if you fuck up what I originally liked or loved, it could. I mean, you could seriously do some damage to what I'm looking at here.
True.
What I truly cared about.
A movie that shall not be named.
Yeah, I wasn't going there, but yeah, we can go that way. You know, if you fuck it up, it can hurt. But if you do what you did for other things, for instance, I mean, you're just opening these things up. I mean, it don't scare the shit out of you, but you just you feel that nostalgia. Oh, well, Stranger Things, for example. Why do you think that's such a big deal?
Nostalgia, sweet. It's like so juicy.
And it has kicks you in the ass with some good writing and really scary moments.
Yeah.
So it's perfect.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like I said, it's a love-hate thing. I want original, new.
Yeah.
And Stranger Things is a lot of original content and new concepts.
It's
just flavored with nostalgia.
Oh, it is. It's flavored with nostalgia, but I thought the concept was new, having like a little girl that tapped into a different dimension that opened up something she shouldn't have opened up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're constantly, not to go down this hole with Stranger Things, but they're constantly changing it up every season. Yeah. And I didn't think it's possible. Like even the prelude to next season where, you know, how she lost her powers, then somehow the sheriff ended up in Russia. How did that happen?
Yeah.
You know, they keep changing the game, but in a good way.
Yeah, they're continually telling the story. It's like, you know, Harry Potter did the same thing.
I got news on Harry Potter.
Okay, go ahead. We're in the news.
All right,
go ahead. Segue over.
Harry, Hermione, and Ron are coming back.
Oh, serious?
In a movie.
No shit.
Yeah, it just got announced that all three characters are on board.
No kidding.
Because she wrote a book called The Cursed Child. It was like a 2.
Yeah, but I thought she punted on that. She was like, no.
She wrote a book. She already wrote the books, but she was punting. You know, she was going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's her.
Because I saw a tweet and I think she was being deflective, like trying to bury the lead. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, nobody knew she was going to do it, but I mean, you knew they were going to throw a ton of money her way to do it.
Are you kidding me?
But it's called The Cursed Child anyway. But it's definitely happening. I do not know the release dates or anything like that. I just know the three main characters, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and I don't know, forgive me if I don't know
Ron Weasley.
Ron Weasley's actor name. But they're all in it, and it's about one of Harry's kids gets cursed, and I don't know, becomes evil or who knows.
So they're what is it called? They're older.
Oh yeah, they have kids.
Yeah. That's kind of cool.
They're going, well, it's at the end of the movie. The end of
they do
they showed that
flash forward or whatever it is.
Yeah, they flash forward.
Yeah, they'll pepper up Harry's hair with some gray.
And they still none of them got taller in the flash
No,
forward. They're all like this small.
She's worth $1 billion.
Who, Emma Watson?
No, J.K. Rowling.
Oh yeah. Well,
Like whoever cut that deal. Like usually writers get shit.
oh, yeah.
Right?
I don't know how it went down.
But yeah, she's
March.
and then that fool that divorced her. She was married.
Bro, was she really?
Yeah, or maybe it was a serious boyfriend or something like that who dumped her
Right before all this went up?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's the Hollywood story.
Well,
it might be a couple years later.
It's like the video gamer that dumped the hot weather girl.
Yeah, but he's dope.
Oh, man. She released some new photos. I'm like, dude. And Shannon called me on that shit. Did I tell you?
No.
Like when she listened to one of the podcasts a couple weeks ago because I told her I gave her a plug and I forgot. I said this. She goes, oh, so I was saying something. She goes, well, why don't you go ask the hot weather girl? I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? I'm like, oh.
She listened. You were like, she'll never listen.
I should have never told her I gave her a plug.
That's too funny, man. Yeah, sometimes they're wise. Yannette Garcia.
So, but that's cool, though. I mean, I've been a big Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed on where they're going with these new movies they're doing now.
We'll see.
But the original was always awesome. I mean,
solid.
I grew up, maybe I was a little older when it started. I didn't start watching it until probably the third episode. But then I watched the third episode and I'm like, fuck, this shit's good. So I want to watch the original too. Very kiddish.
Yeah.
But it gets darker and darker and better and better.
Yeah, it matures as the kids mature.
It's perfect writing for everything, how they were doing it. She was genius.
Absolutely, man.
Genius.
I know I mentioned this in the previous episode, but I had a coworker of mine. We went to an offsite, went over to Orlando, went to the Harry Potter, the whole thing that they have at Disney.
No, it's not Disney.
Or Universal, excuse me.
Get that right.
Yes. And it's got, the one in Orlando.
It could be a sponsor of ours someday.
Well, yeah, you're right. And I don't want them to go back 10 years and then crucify me on social media. But
they do that now.
Of course. Dragon up on top.
Yeah, it was
blowing
bad.
fire.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing was just awesome. Well, I came to Harry Potter as well into my adulthood. She came into it at the same age as the characters were in the book.
Oh, so she was.
So she
really
grew up with the characters as they were growing up in the book.
Oh God! And she read every book came.
Oh
out.
my God, she's a huge fan, and it's like and I know I said this before, so I apologize if it's a repeat. All the guys that were with me, my other colleagues, they were like, they want to go on roller coasters, they want to go on like speed rides, and she was like looking sheepishly, and I was like, you want to head over to Harry Potter? She's like, yes. And we went over. We had a blast, dude.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. But I just thought,
you did tell me this before.
yeah. But that was the real genius. When you get a 12-year-old, and it's kind of like how we were with Star Wars. We were young when we got introduced to Star Wars, and it sunk its hooks in.
It's what Marvel did.
Yeah, good stuff. So went on a bit of a tangent. Rotten's was being a bit of a twat about Dave Chappelle.
So now we know.
Yeah.
My advice: I'm going to give a review on Rotten Tomatoes. Don't go on that site.
IMDb's got reviews. Google's got reviews.
They all do.
I know we're critics, but we're not getting paid to be critics. We're
just giving our honest opinion
about the stuff we like and the stuff we don't like.
And when we see a wrongdoing, this was definitely a wrongdoing by Rotten Tomatoes. And all we're saying is this is so glaring. How many times have they done it before just to tweak it a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe say a score, because everybody knows if you get a score in the low 60s, it's millions of dollars that are costing these studios. If you get a score in the low 60s, not a lot of people are going to see it. But if it's something in the low 70s, just a few points, who's to say they didn't throw a couple extra bucks their way?
Other services publish Rotten results.
I know.
As a part of their VOD.
I know that.
And that's like That's big deal, man.
I know.
They pay for that service, and someone said, and they start losing credibility, they're out.
What pisses me off is this isn't a bigger news than it should be. I mean, Joe Rogan said it, but it wasn't even on the news.
Yeah, but now we're saying it, Nick.
Oh, it's going worldwide.
I know it's Joe Rogan's big, but come on, let's not underestimate our fans.
Yeah, our 10 fans. They're going to go ape shit.
That's right.
Man.
They're going to storm the castle.
Get on that Twitter, baby. Tweet away.
Yeah, so we're really gonna boycott Rotten. We're gonna shift gears and go over and source from other places, and of course give our own opinion.
Always source from us.
Yes,
we're 100% accurate all the time.
Yes, we're 100% accurate 50% of the time. So, anything else from that vein?
News
as far as the Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan stuff?
No. There was something else in news I had. I can't remember right now.
So Apple had their keynote event today.
Yeah, you said that.
Usual announcements, new hardware, Apple Watch 5, 7th gen iPad. They have Apple used to do monitors. And I know this is a little more tech talk, but... No,
I'm interested. Go ahead.
So Apple used to do monitors. I have a Thunderbolt display upstairs.
The old ones, the big backs and all that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now they were flat screens now, yeah.
Yeah. And so I got mine probably 2013, something like that. So it's older, but it was $1,000. And it was it probably rivals some of the best monitors out there. Mm-hmm. Apple had... evolved their MacBook Pro into a giant, like a iMac, big, flat, all-in-one, all-in the monitor with 5K display.
Okay.
Now they're doing a desktop model, which is basically you see them. It's a tower for their computers. It's their new MacBook Pro, and you can get MacBook. You can get a Pro XRD, I think it's called. Monitor now, in addition to your MacBook Pro.
Okay.
All in, I believe I saw this right. It was a little confusing because you got to buy a stand that's $1,000. You got to buy the monitor, which can be in between $5,000 and $6,000. And
so
then
what are you going to say, like $20,000?
And then you get the tower, which can be. I didn't check the price of the tower, but the old ones were about $5,000. So. $10,000, $12,000 for a computer and a monitor.
Dude, does it read my thoughts or something like that?
Fuck you, Apple.
Yeah, right.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I don't understand where
I take it back if Apple's a sponsor one day.
I don't understand where they get over. Well, who do you think is going to buy this shit?
They're probably hoping that some studio buys it. It's for enterprise and commercial. So somebody who's a budget for $1 million in hardware or whatever, and they're going to bring those in. The problem is that the PCs that are out there, if you have them built, a lot of them are garbage, but if you know your tech specs, you can get a decent PC for $2,000. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what the hell. What are you going to do? You have 3 employees, you spend $30,000.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, that was my little bit of tear.
Did they release any new phones? The 11?
They did. The 11 and the 11 Pro.
Yeah, what did they say about it? Is it any good? What's the difference?
Apple is sexy as hell when it comes to their marketing, man. You get Johnny Ives talking over it with his British accent, and you're like, oh my God, I need this. I want this. I got to have it.
Yeah, but I want to know from you, a tech guy, was there any new features that's supposed to be revolutionary?
I think that they're spot on with their displays. I think that their camera that they're selling is pretty legit. As far as its capabilities, the video, now that you can take this really sexy, editable, movie quality 4K video.
So they're just making things sharper and better. I get that, but it's not like a Steve Jobs where he created the iPhone.
It's not revolutionary, man. No, it's not. They're winning certain tech specs by margins. And then Sony and Huawei, I can't even pronounce it, they're still... Or not Sony, sorry, Samsung. Mm-hmm. Samsung, a Note or Galaxy S, they're Apple is trailing these guys. Mm-hmm. So it's like you guys were kicking the shit out of all these other phones as far as the quality of the device. Now you're trailing. Right. You need to reinvent yourself with another product.
That's what I mean. They haven't done it, though.
Yeah, and it's
they were supposed to be revealing something big this week, and I was like,
I mean, I think the biggest thing was, I mean, they upgraded everything, right? But nothing outstanding. And then they did, of course, pimp their services. They got the Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
Apple Arcade, and Apple Arcade is such a bunch of bullshit to me because they're not doing premier games. They're doing what basically looks like you pay a subscription, you have another button on your phone, and then you can have access to a bunch of games because you're paying $4.99 a month instead of buying onesie twosie. Mm-hmm. Apple just wants to keep you paying, $60 a year, whether you play one game or 100 games.
So it's a marketing thing. It's really not to do. They're not trying to create anything new or a new segment. They're just
they're trying the subscription model like everybody else.
That's where they're going.
Yeah, they're trying, and the thing that's fucked up is that it works. It works. How many times are you like, I you know what? I got friends coming over. I'm gonna see what I can hook up on Pandora so that we can play music through my new speakers or whatever.
Right.
And so you just have Pandora playing on a loop.
Or Apple Music.
Music, whatever it might be. And then you're like, you know what? It's cool. It's great. And then you don't listen to it for 2 weeks at a time. And you find out you're barely using the service, but it just keeps charging you every month.
Not to get back on porn.
Yeah.
That happened to me about 15 years ago. I downloaded, this was like a specific girl site. I was like, God damn, this girl's hot. She had her own site. So this was before all the free porn.
Sure.
So I was like, fuck it.
Before Shangri-La.
Yeah, right. So I decided to get a subscription to her site,
Thinking you maybe use it a month or two and then
I totally forgot about it for like 4 months. No, it's 5 months. And I'm like, what the fuck? I look at my credit. This is back in the day when I didn't look at I didn't have an app that I can go on my credit card.
Sure.
My credit card statement and look it right away.
Yeah.
So when I finally got it in the mail, one time I actually looked at it, I'm like, holy fuck, what is this? Because it doesn't say the girl's name. It just says, I did it.
Yeah,
XXX. And you're like, fuck, I had to like call research, dude. It took me forever to cancel this thing. And it wasn't cheap back then. It was like 30 some bucks a fucking month.
Then you had to go back to your Jennifer Garner collection
and
watch
right.
Alias.
That's Alias.
binge watch Alias.
Yeah, that's why I binged it. That's why I did it.
So that's the Apple Arcade thing. The problem with me is that you have these AAA titles like a Gears of War, which I've been playing, or a Red Dead Redemption, real console or
They're not
PC
going to be in
games.
there, though.
No.
It's all like app games, isn't it?
It's all app games. From what I saw, nothing with deep graphics, nothing with that requires high performance.
So they're all basing it off of people just using it on their phones.
They want a subscription.
Yeah.
Basically. And the other thing is, too, it's like...
Now, are you going to get a discount going forward? Say if you buy at 11, are you going to get a discount on those the Apple TV and the arcade?
No. Apple TV's $4.99, I believe.
They're not going to offer you a discount if you sit there and buy a brand new phone?
No, $4.99,
That's
$4.99.
fucking shit.
They're doing a cheaper version of the 11 for $6.99 and then offering you a trade-in. That'll bring it down to $4.
I'm not talking about that. It's like, I'm trying to think of something. I mean, Apple's a huge company. How about you drum up business for people to get these things and say, if you buy an 11, I'll give you this for free for a year.
Yeah, Apple's lost. The problem is they're lost in a sea of money.
Yeah, right.
They have all the fucking money.
It's a hard problem to have.
Yeah, they're lost in a sea of money, but they're not making the margins they used to make.
No, they're not making the innovations, obviously.
Yes,
exactly. They're just trying to capitalize on what's already been built.
Yeah, they need an ass kicker like Jobs back.
Yeah,
that's going to go and push the envelope, but they're not.
He's thinking about it, but I think he's busy.
Yeah, busy being dead.
Yeah, exactly.
iPhone 11. The one thing I wanted to note about I'm way overdue for a new phone, and I was thinking about getting a new one this round.
Get the Galaxy Fold.
I was thinking about the Galaxy now.
The Fold?
No, not the Fold.
$2,000 thing.
No, I'm not getting the Fold. I think that's a fad. It's going to go away. But I was thinking about an iPhone because my ecosystem's iPhone.
That's all my phone.
I got all that.
And then
shit.
you also have all those movies you bought. Jamie would throw it in your face if you had to switch and you couldn't watch.
I'd have to go and raid his movie collection and rip all his DVDs. But they're not doing 5G. They're not building it for 5G. So here's my thought.
Why they're not building the 11 for 5G?
No.
I thought the 11 was going to have 5G because that's the next thing coming out.
I think you can trick it out, and they give you a software version of 5G that's not true 5G. I believe.
You sure it's not a 5G? I heard rumors that the 11 was going to have 5G capability.
I could double fact check it, but I don't think it does.
Because that makes no sense to me why Apple will be, again, behind the 8 ball, that big a deal.
Well, here's
when 5G is coming out everywhere in the next year or two.
Well, that's one fucked up part. The other fucked up part is that you're going to have content that, like an Apple movie service, and you're going to have an Apple arcade service where people are going to want to stream stuff or download stuff. And you're going to do it on a non-5G receptive phone.
Yeah, 'cause I know not everywhere has 5G yet, and we don't have it around here.
True.
We're not going to have it around here for another couple of years. But
and maybe that's the timing thing. Maybe they're banking on the it being more prevalent.
I think only like 2 places have 5G right now.
Well, probably the Bay Area, no doubt.
I think the Bay Area and I think New York.
Yeah.
Parts of New York.
So even if I do get an iPhone, it probably wouldn't be until the 12. But the other things that they announced, along with all the hardware, is Apple Arcade, $4.99 a month. We talked about that, and Apple TV. The thing about Apple TV, they're starting to ramp up marketing for the content that's coming out, and they have, I think, starting November 1st, are going to open up the Apple TV Plus, with one of the trailers, because they have a ton of content coming out, but some of the things that I took notice on was Jason Momoa's sci-fi futuristic dystopian future show called C.
That's it.
So it's basically sort of the world has gone to shit, mostly because
we lost the ability to see.
Yeah, well, the world, yeah, exactly.
That's it.
And they start with the childlike voiceover in the trailer that's like it's because it was the Earth protecting itself from us.
Yeah, we were like cursed by the gods, or something like that.
And then they become very primal. You know, it's a lot of primitive. You know, spears and axes and hatchets. And
well, it makes sense. Jason Momoa. That's what I would use him for too.
Yeah,
I mean, he's never going to win an Oscar.
No, but he's not going to leap too far from a pirate Aquaman or a barbaric Khal Drogo.
You didn't have to say much.
Yeah, so he's slipping right into his own. And good for him. It's Jason.
No,
Momoa.
I love it. You can't act worth shit. We saw the trailer and I'm like, ew.
Here's the problem. Yes, trailer looks pretty.
Oh,
they're spending $15 million an episode.
Are they really for that?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. And
the visuals look great. And I'm not saying no, but I don't like the premise.
The premise is a little weak, and the acting looked a little weak in the trailer.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate to shit on the dude's craft, but it wasn't good.
He's not meant to be an actor. He's going to be like a Rock.
Yes.
You know, Rock has refined it over the years, but Rock's never really going to shed a tear on camera, dude. He's not that type of dude.
No. He
probably doesn't have tear ducts.
No, he had them removed.
Yeah. But
not candy ass tear ducts.
But that's kind of where Jason Momoa is going to fall in. He's not quite as polished an actor as The Rock is yet. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure one day he will be to The Rock's level. What I mean is that's the bottom level of acting, but you're so charming in everything you do.
Sure.
Nobody's really going to care.
Arnold.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. I mean, and Sly's probably in that same vein.
Yeah.
I mean, with Rocky, he was...
Bruce Willis.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Bruce Willis.
How many more diehards
actually,
could be made?
Bruce Willis is better actor than any of those guys.
I'm not saying he's not, but he's in that vein where he's never going to win the Oscar.
Nah, not if he does. He's in his late 60s.
Like Leonardo DiCaprio is a fantastic actor.
Yes,
he deserves it. He's from where he started. I never thought he would be.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Who might be, they're talking Oscars for Joker.
We'll see. Yeah. Apparently, the Joker's the role to be. To win an Oscar in the superhero business.
That's a good point. Let's just knock on wood. Stay alive.
It's hard,
Stay alive,
it's hard to play crazy, dude.
Yeah. So Jason Momoa is, I mean, here's the bottom line. I'm not subscribing to this service.
Nope.
So.
But the morning show looks good too, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that's a Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon.
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell. It does. It looks good, but I think it's going to tank. I think this Apple TV is going to implode.
We all said that Apple should have bought Netflix.
Yeah, because it's not a Star Trek. It's not a Star Wars.
You needed something to grab it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not a like if they were to say, oh, by the way. I mean, CBS is hanging on by a thread
because of Star Trek. That's
because
it.
of Star Trek.
That's
exactly.
That's why they're doing CBS Picard
Plus,
now,
yeah, or All Access.
All Access. That's why they're doing Picard now.
1,000%.
Yeah,
yeah. They're taking an 80-some-year-old Patrick Stewart and putting him in a Star Trek series,
and they're probably dropping like $10 million in his pocket to do it.
Shit,
probably
man.
Maybe more.
He's going to bring in some dollars for sure.
But that's what they do. I mean. And Apple, you just didn't understand where they were going because they're one of the biggest companies on the planet. You thought either they would have bought a streaming service or at least bought the rights to, a DC market. That's all. Let's say Apple came in and said, I'll pay you $10 billion for all the rights because I want to start making only that content on my shit.
Yeah.
That would have been a smart play. Just went to Warner Brothers and said, fuck it. You're fucking horrible at this shit. Here's 10.
Yeah.
I'll take it all.
Yeah, that's the problem. They have a bigger entity that supports all that shit.
It's like Lord of the Rings. Who bought that?
That was Miramax, I think.
No, to write the streaming service, to do a streaming service.
Oh, Amazon, yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Fucking ingenious. They already had an imprint because of what they were doing with their Amazon Prime, and that's how they got in the door. But how ingenious was that? I mean, then when that hits the fucking thing,
a New Line. I thought it was Miramax. I think.
Whatever.
Sorry.
But when that hits the streaming service, people are gonna go crazy for it.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna print money.
I mean, it has a name. It has cachet. It's like, dude, seriously, why wouldn't Apple, if they're really gonna invest $15 million an episode into this? Whatever it could be, and it could be great, but nobody's going to see it because it doesn't pull anybody in.
Well, and that's their MO these days. They're not making big moves. They're not making big moves at all. They're coming late to the game on everything.
I know
everything. They're getting their asses kicked in the PC market. I mean, their phones are usually second or third behind Samsung.
Yeah. I just can't. I would love to change, but I can't change because I'm just so used to the format.
Yeah, agreed. That's what's keeping them banked.
Because I tried to switch a couple of years ago. I had a HTM or something like that.
Oh, I remember that. HTC.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that. I had that a long time ago. I had what did me and Shannon have? We switched over to something.
Yeah.
And it had it wasn't Samsung, but the same kind of operating system.
Sure.
All that non-Apple operating system. We had it for we had a week to keep it.
I vaguely remember this, man.
Yeah. I think it was when we were in Coventry, and I bit the bullet, and I sent the $35 a phone for restocking. We sent them back, man, and we got iPhones back. It's just, we couldn't, I don't know, it's just different.
Yeah, dude.
It's not as protected either. The system's easier to hack. Mm-hmm. It's the one thing Apple does have going for it is their systems are harder to hack than most systems.
Yeah, it's because there's less of them out there. Mm-hmm. Honestly, that was the thing that people would say, oh my God, the Mac's so much more secure than a PC. And the only reason is because...
Not phones now, though.
No, well, I'm just going back a little bit. Mm. But people just say Mac is more secure than PC because... if you're going to create a nasty virus or create some type of phishing, something that...
You're going to want to hit multiple targets.
Exactly. You're going to want a bigger audience. You're not going to fuck around with,
I did hear the operating system's more stable, so it's harder to fuck with. It doesn't mean they could, but...
Yeah.
I mean, PCs, their operating systems are in and out all the time.
Yeah. Most of the time, vulnerabilities come from just people on the job site.
Oh, yeah. downloading that porn again.
Well, yeah, downloading Captain Marvel.
That's good. By the way, I did watch Boogie Nights the other day too. I watched part of it. I was like, I gotta watch.
Wait, is that the one where Mark Wahlberg has the fake dick?
Well, not fake. He puts fake dick. Yeah.
I mean, it's not fake in the movie. But
yeah.
Could you imagine him on set with that big fucking hammer? But he's doing a helicopter.
But it's just so. I will give him credit. That was probably his best acting movie of all time.
Yeah, because he
didn't play the normal Mark Wahlberg where I'm a tough guy, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah,
I'm a sweet, sensitive guy with a big dick. That's how he portrayed himself, and it was actually a good job.
Yeah, I agree.
And Burt Reynolds was awesome, man.
That's a solid ass movie, man.
And then I always wanted to have sex with Roller Girl, Heather Graham.
Yeah, remember her in Lenny Kravitz's American Woman?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
She's awesome.
All right, so moving on. The last movie I want to mention on Apple TV Plus was For All Mankind. Just saw the trailer. It looks interesting, but there's a lot of space movies out these days.
Yeah.
So they're putting a movie out, and it's got the guy from Altered Carbon. His name's on the tip of my tongue.
They have a twist in it, right?
Yes.
It's about going to the moon and how we weren't the first to get on the moon. It was actually
Russia,
the red moon. And then they changed the narrative saying that this isn't about going to the moon anymore. This is about going everywhere else, pretty much.
Putting a base on the moon, going to Jupiter or Mars or whatever.
Yeah, in the universe.
Yeah, it's an interesting twist. It reminded me of that Man in the High Castle.
That's what it reminded me of. How
the
twist. But again,
not going to see it.
No, I'm not.
No, sorry, Apple. I mean, it's a little. First of all, it's a little late for a subscription service. Second of all, you're coming with a half limp noodle here.
And that's the problem is I think they think they're so strong they can do whatever they want. And that's not true. You still have to entice people. Phones, yes, you got us.
Yeah.
But everything else, I'm just not going to fucking buy just because I have an Apple.
No. It's with that in the arcade, it's another $10 a month.
And they'll go both by the wayside.
Yeah. If you're going to give me a choice, you're going to do Disney Plus or Apple. It's not even a competition.
Right.
Yeah.
And if I have a choice between all of them, sorry, Netflix, you might be going by the wayside too.
Yeah.
Amazon and Disney Plus just might be the ones where I keep.
Disney Plus, and then with the Lord of the Rings stuff coming to Amazon. Shit. And Jack Ryan. And there's a lot of good shows coming to Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're bringing the comedy too.
You ever notice with Amazon, any movie that's rentable now, you can get that on Amazon Prime? You can rent them.
Yeah.
It's the only one you can do it on.
Really?
You can't do that on Netflix.
You can do it on Apple TV.
Well, we have Apple TV hasn't released yet. The Apple Plus, whatever.
What do you eat? I'm confused now. Apple, you can only rent on Amazon?
Yeah, you can rent movies on Amazon or buy them.
Yeah.
Right, on the Amazon Prime.
Yeah, and you can do that with Apple TV. You can rent them or buy them.
But that's not the streaming service.
No, it's not. It's not Disney Plus.
It's built into their streaming service, Amazon Prime. That's what I mean.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes, Disney. Yeah, Apple TV. Apple TV, you can, but you have to buy a device.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about.
I hear you. I
knew with the streaming service, Amazon Prime is the only one allows you to rent it.
Yes,
the new ones that come out right now.
I gotcha. That's pretty cool, actually. Just one more thing for trailers. There was a couple of trailers that I saw that were released this week. That the one that I want to talk about, besides the Jason Momoa is Bad Boys. Will Smith. I was going to talk about it last week and it just slipped my mind.
Yeah, I knew about it last week too. The problem with this is, and I told you earlier, is I think they missed the boat by 8 to 10 years.
Yes, I agree.
First of all, nobody likes the big high action cop dramas. Boom, boom. People want more backstory, want more substance in these. They don't mind the cop dramas, but they just don't want to boom, boom. We're not stupid audience members anymore. We're not Michael Bay fans.
Yeah.
I want more to this. And then a one punch comic it's relief or line. It's not gonna fill me up and make me want to go to the movies.
I was down with the first one. I mean,
first one was good.
Not so much the second one.
The second one was okay,
but
this one doesn't look good.
Second one got released in 2013. I mean, 2003. Excuse me.
Oh, so 20 years ago then.
Yeah, and then Bad Boys came out in 95.
Yeah, they really
So
take their
it's
time.
7 years for the second one to come out, and then, or well,
16.
8 years, 8 years,
16.
and then 16 years. Thanks for doing the math for me.
That's all right.
My brain's spongy tonight.
That's all right. What, the Matrix is going to be doing the same thing anyway, so.
That's true.
Anything to make money. I'm sure this Bad Boys thing, they probably paid Will Smith more than they did the making the whole thing.
Yeah, probably.
Will Smith probably got paid his 20.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Lawrence doesn't make shit anymore because obviously he looks like he hasn't got off the fucking couch in a while.
Yeah, he did look heavy in the trailer, man.
I'll punch you in the face.
Yeah, I mean, shit, that's your job, man.
And then they really don't have anybody else in the movie that's really notable. Maybe their Chief's back again.
Yeah, Joey Pants. I love Joey Pantaleone.
He's not a bad actor. He's pretty good.
And
But outside that, it's like, all right, we can just make a movie where things blow up. And that's really cheap now. Because if we're not using CGI, it's not expensive.
Yeah, do you see how much... Did you see some of the... this is without CGI for Endgame?
Yeah, I saw a little bit. It was cool.
Dude, some of it I was like, the hair too?
Yeah.
The cape, some of it I was like, damn, what was actually on that set?
What did they really do? Did they just stay at home and they said, we're going to use your likeness?
That's right.
And we'll pay you the $3 million?
That's right.
Well, I could come in and no, cost us more. And you're really not that good of an actor.
Yeah, trust me. As soon as we get the acting down, you're done. Last, and then we'll wrap this shindig up. I don't even have a what are you watching? You know why? I've been watching American Ninja Warrior. Something about that.
I have been watching the show you recommended on Amazon Prime.
Oh, the Carnival Row?
Carnival Row.
What do you think?
3 episodes. It's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
It's not Game of Thrones.
Not Game of Thrones, but it did pique my interest. And
Yes.
I on the phone factor, I don't really pick up my phone that much. It
Yeah.
did keep me interested. I don't know really where it's going. Maybe you could clear some up and with me.
Sure.
They look like fairies, these people.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. The Fae.
Yeah.
Fae. Apparently, these two groups of humans, one looks like an England type of area,
Yeah.
and another group fought over their homeland.
Yes.
The Fae's homeland.
Yeah, the Pact.
The Pact. And the England people lost to like the German type people.
Yeah, they got driven out.
They got driven out, and then the German people was like mass killing all these.
Yeah, they're. I don't even know what they are. They're like Huns or they're Germans or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah,
and I don't know why it was such a big fight for this island. Mm-hmm. Where the Fae. I don't know why they both wanted to kill him, and the English people were using them as like, I wouldn't say slaves, but indentured servants, hookers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're beneath everybody.
Yep. Well, they have to pay in order to get they have to pay to get smuggled into the country or get brought to the country.
Right.
And it's like old school indentured servitude. Like, I'll bring you over and this person's going to pay me to bring you over, but you got to work off your nut. And your nut can be either as a prostitute, as a cleaning, like a maid, or as, what was the other thing? Prostitute, maid, and then
Something else.
oh, she was part of that nasty, like underground.
Yeah. I just got to the part where she had to steal the flag in the police office.
Yes, exactly.
That's the last episode I saw.
Yeah.
I will say this: getting fucked by a fairy looked pretty cool.
Oh, she lifted
was like,
that dude off the ground, man.
Yeah. Is that what's her face? Miss Strange from Elle's Strange from Lestrange from Harry Potter.
Oh, I'm not sure. See, you remember a lot more.
I don't know,
about
but she
Harry
wasn't
Potter
that
than I
pretty.
do.
I mean, the fairy's prettier.
Oh no, it wasn't her. Because that's what's her name? That's she's in a lot of Johnny Depp movies. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Her name's off the top.
And
of my
it was
tongue.
good though. I don't know where they're going with all this. I don't know if there's like an underlining, which would be cool for me because I really like looking into things like mystical and all that. About the fairy people or whatever have to have some kind of importance.
Yeah, well,
Some monster creature going to devour the whole city underneath this.
Well, that's
London
an interesting reveal on how that plays out.
Yeah,
I don't want to give it away, but it revs up because it's a little Jack the Ripper. It's a little fantasy.
Yeah, I know. I like all that, but I want it to be able to be tied together. I don't want it to sit. I don't want to sit there and wonder why they were driven out of their homeland. What was so important that these guys had to fight and invade it for?
Nicholas, you got to have a season 2 and a season 3 and a season 4.
Well, if you don't give me one of these answers by the end of season 1, then I'm not going to watch season 3, season 2, season 3, season 4.
You might.
All right, whatever. But it's decent. It's decent. I liked it. So
yeah, I recommend it. I mean, like I said, it's
if you got nothing else to watch, it's not a bad show to watch.
Yeah, it's not a Game of Thrones, but it's definitely interesting. So, like I said, I was watching American Ninja Warrior. That's about it because I watch it with the fam. And what I've done outside of that is play Gears of War. So I got the Xbox 360 Game Pass. They got offered a special, dude. It was like $2 for 2 months. It's normally...
And you jumped at that shit.
Dude, it's normally $14-15 a month for the Ultimate Edition. And I was like, $2 2 months. I'll put a notification or put an alert on my phone. And right before that goes up, I'll cancel the membership. And then I got 3 months, 2 months. And I'm playing Gears Ultimate, which is a $80 game. $79.
Isn't it one of your favorite games of all time?
Oh, yeah. By far, dude. By far. I mean, that's the one where Jamie's always saying, rifle with a chainsaw. That's all I got to say. And, dude, it was fun. Noah's got the Xbox. He's got it. It's in his room. We used to keep it downstairs, when the boys were little so we could monitor what they were watching. We probably should still do that, but whatever. And we used to play it downstairs. Well, it's not downstairs anymore. So it was upstairs. And Noah was cool about it. He was like, Dad, of course, play whatever you want. It's yours. You paid for it. And I was like, right on, man.
That's a good way to be.
Right?
Other kids would be like, come on.
No, he was cool, man.
That was awesome, man.
He was cool. And he set me right up. He goes, I said, buddy, do you mind if I adjust your chair? He goes, no, do whatever you want to do. And then he goes, do you want a blanket?
What's his angle?
I don't know, man.
What is he working at, dude? I don't know. That seems way or what should you be finding out soon?
I know. Did he fail a test or is he pining for something? But he goes, I'm going to shut the door. Are you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And just last night I was playing. I played for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Dude, that's like ages for me now.
Right?
I can't even. That's why I don't even bother playing with Aiden because there's no point because I don't have enough time to really get good at anything.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no point. I don't have fucking time.
Dude, my palms were sweaty. I was jacked up. I got out of that thing. I was like, because he had to go to bed. It was like 9:30, 9:45, and he's like, Dad, Mom says I gotta go to bed. And I was like, oh, what time is it? Oh, shit, buddy. Okay, yeah, no problem. So I put him
lucky your kids are older, man.
Yeah, they're cool. I mean, they can be a pain in the ass like any kids, but they're cool kids. But I got out of there. I was charged up, man. I was like, happy as fuck. Yeah. It was cool. New characters, new upgrades. New scenario. I got out of Gears. Last thing I played was Gears 3. I missed Gears 4. Unfortunately, there's a lot that went on in Gears 4. But they do catch you up in the beginning.
Of course they do. They want to bring everybody along.
Of course, man.
They want to get any newcomers that want to get the game.
Yeah, but dude, the gameplay. I love the third-person shooter. Fucking headshots where it vaporize somebody's head. The sound effects of it's just all awesome. So that's, other than American Ninja Warrior, that's what I've been up to. And you watching anything? You said you were watching the Carnival Row.
Yeah, I'm watching that. Well, we just talked about it.
But anything else?
No, I watched the one show I told you about last week. Did we talk about it on the podcast? I can't remember. The one with Starbuck?
Yes.
We did talk about it. I watched that. Nothing right now. I mean, I watched a little bit of the Fear of the Walking Dead. Not really. My wife's more consistent on it than I am.
I heard it's tumbling ratings-wise.
Hell yeah, man. They're going to be bringing Rick back sooner than you think.
They need to. That's the A-bomb.
Yeah, Rick.
You know?
Andrew Lincoln is the A-bomb.
He
He's gonna come back. I mean, he's having his movie coming out soon, but they're going to be like, come back, please. Well, I want to stay in London.
We'll fly you every weekend, a personal jet.
And we'll instead of $20 million, we'll make it 40.
Yeah.
How you going to fucking turn down 40?
Yeah, come on. You want to be independently wealthy for the rest of your days?
Yeah, I think people are just getting turned off because in both avenues, we talked about it before with them, it's just how much longer can you keep going at this pace without giving us a nugget of ending?
Yeah, you got to end it.
You got to end it.
Totally.
At least give us a nugget.
Go out on a high, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, you give it a nugget like at the end of the season saying there's a possible cure, a legit one, not the one they did with Gookie, the idiot boy running around, I forget. Or a possible community they can actually move to that they can be somewhat normal again. Something, a nugget for like a year or two down the road.
Yeah.
If you don't do that at the end of the season, I think I might be out.
Yeah.
Even if Rick does come back. Because then you're just doing the same old fucking thing every year. There's finding a new baddie to deal with, trying to save your friends, but you end up losing half of them anyway.
Yeah. Now it's
gaining
like
new
alpha,
friends. Right? Yeah, now it's the alpha thing. It's
Yeah.
always going to be the next big thing. You know?
Yeah.
So.
I think it's winding down. You're right. They got to bring in Rick. And when they do bring it in, I'm going to hashtag A-bomb and then his name every time.
Andrew Lincoln, yeah. Here comes the A-bomb.
That's right. You needed to bring an A-bomb. Anything else, Nicholas?
Nothing this week. Nothing I can think about off the top of my head.
All righty. All right. Well, I got to get out and I got to go see it, and then I'll come back with a
real quick.
tidy
What's
review.
coming out this weekend? Is that Brad Pitt movie coming out this weekend?
That's a good question. New releases. I think it's the Brad. No. The
when does that come out? 2 weeks?
Yeah, that's not so. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I want to see that one.
But yeah, unfortunately, you caught me with my pants down, man. I don't have anything on new releases for this
You
week.
fucker, dude. Stop jerking off underneath the table, dude. That's my thing.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this week's episode of the Nick, Jon, and Jamie Show. You totally threw me with the jerking off, and that's my thing. We're on all the social medias, everybody. You just look for us at NJJ Show, and we're also on all the popular platforms as far as finding the podcast if you're not on your preferred platform of podcasting. And please, if you do come across if you settled into our show tonight and you're digging the show, subscribe. And if you have the time, leave us a kind review. Thank you, everybody, and have an awesome week.